In a world where the top career goal for most young people isn't becoming a doctor or a lawyer or contributing to society in any discernible way, but is instead to follow in the footsteps of their false gods and earn a living simply by playing video games on the internet, you would assume that the few people lucky enough to actually have that kind of career would be at least motivated enough to not plagiarize other people's work. But you would be dead fucking wrong. Here we go!
Wait, hold on. I thought we canceled
I
Tugs.
already got changed.
Well.
The beginning took it all out of me.
Yeah. You know, sometimes I wish we hadn't canceled Tugs, though, and this is one of those times because the fact that a video game reviewer for one of the biggest and longest-running gaming news outlets just straight up stole his entire review from a tiny channel and actually thought he wouldn't get caught for it is a story that demands the kind of hatred and condescension towards gamers that we previously reserved for our now dead fake gaming news show.
So Dead Cells is a new video game that came out this week. It'd been in alpha for a little while, but it's described as a roguelike Metroidvania hybrid. I played it last night and well into this morning, woke up again, kept playing it. The hype is real, by the way, behind this game. Well, the story is one thing, but this game is fucking great. Sorry, unbiased review, hadn't even heard of it before yesterday. Apparently, according to the whole description with this game, it's a cross between Dark Souls, Metroid, Castlevania. It has roguelike elements like Binding of Isaac, Enter the Gungeon. It's essentially the kind of game that self-described true gamers would be all about. No casuals allowed. I fucking love it, so it perfectly describes who I am. A real gamer.
Real gamers. No girls.
Let's say you're a huge Nintendo fan who, based off the quality and enthusiasm on your personal YouTube channel, gets hired at IGN specifically to be their main Nintendo Switch editor. It's a dream come true. Like when I was a kid, being able to write for Nintendo Power.
Yeah.
You've made the big leagues. Come on. Time to move out to San Francisco, a liberal hellhole filled with people snorting cocaine
coke off
the sidewalk. Who are these rich homeless people? And where are they getting this cocaine? Anyways, yeah, time to move out to San Francisco to just talk about playing games and playing the Nintendo Switch for a living.
Yeah.
The dream job, even though I'm sure they don't pay very well when you come right through the door.
Yeah, especially living in that area.
Oh yeah, you're gonna be driving in or riding the BART in for a long time.
Yeah. Anyway, that is the exact story with the career of Philip Mewson, who got hired at IGN back in November of last year and whose job includes hosting the Nintendo Voice Chat podcast and creating IGN's video reviews of Nintendo Switch games. His most recent video review for IGN, posted on Monday, was for Dead Cells. And at just 3 minutes and 45 seconds in length, wouldn't really strike most people as requiring all that much work.
I'd wager we've already talked for that long on this episode.
Now, sure, he'd presumably have to play the game, capture footage, take notes, and then flesh those notes out into a coherent review. But speaking from our own personal experience working for a company very similar to IGN for several years, it's not that hard, guys.
We shit out content every day almost, so it's fine. Anyways, not long after IGN published Philip Mewson?
Mewson.
Well, he's Mewson X now. Not gonna work here anymore.
Yeah, just like the voice of Mewson X.
Yeah, TJ Miller, not gonna work here anymore. Not long after they published his Dead Cells review, a YouTuber who goes by the name Boomstick Gaming noticed that, this new review from probably the biggest mainstream name in gaming news sure does have a lot in common with my own review that I published a few days earlier to my 21,000 sub YouTube channel, which is tiny by comparison. In fact, most of the script is either copied completely verbatim or just ever so slightly tweaked.
Can I see your homework?
That's pretty weird. Now, not knowing really what to do about this, Boomstick Gaming posted a YouTube video comparing IGN's review to his earlier review titled IGN copied my Dead Cells review, What Do I Do?
Yeah, because what do you do? It's not like you can call up 1-800-IGN.
Yeah,
So
you gotta call Fox.
In his expose comparing the two videos, Boomstick provides example after example after example of the type of plagiarism that you'd expect from an 8th grader, including a few that happen at almost the exact same time code in both videos. Now, he doesn't come off as particularly angry, and he even says that he finds it kind of flattering that IGN is watching his reviews on his Widow YouTube channel. On Twitter, Boomstick Gaming replied to Philip Mewson's tweet about working on his Dead Cells review with, "No hate, man, but I wish I was cited, collaborated with, and/or compensated in some way for the healthy views your site saw on your Dead Cells review."
Well, instead, the IGN guy, he just sent him that image that says, "Hey, can I copy your homework?" Sure, just change things a little bit.
Found it on a blog, dude. Now, meanwhile, despite Boomstick's relatively small sub count, his video picked up a ton of upvotes on Reddit overnight, and by Tuesday morning, it had gotten the attention of IGN themselves, who replaced the page for the review with a statement. Editor's note: as a group of writers and creators who value our own work and that of others in our field, the editorial staff of IGN takes plagiarism very seriously. In light of concerns that have been raised about our Dead Cells review, we've removed it for the time being and are investigating. And when we say editorial staff, we're not talking about Philip Mewson, who's part of our editorial staff.
Yeah, anyways, Philip Mewson, at least as of when we're filming this, hasn't said a peep out of any of this publicly. Smart. Probably watches our show. Just shut the fuck up. But it's also probably because he plagiarized our mantra of shutting the fuck up. Yeah, when shit hits the fan, it's very smart. But obviously this can't be good for his career. IGN already gets a ton of rightful criticism for their cozy relationship with developers and kid gloves approach to games journalism and reviews. And now they've got to deal with probably the clearest actual violation of ethics in games journalism that's ever occurred since that phrase was coined years ago. And for what? A video game review about a great game. It wasn't even as if they either bashed a great game or glorified a terrible game. It was the easiest.
Yeah.
Over the line,
a
completely
game
normal.
Probably deserving of the IGN 10 out of 10.
If you had played the game for an hour or two, you could certainly talk, even if you didn't go into the fine depths of the late game, talk about it in a positive way for 3.5 minutes. That's the craziest part to me. Mm-hmm. I just don't even think he played it at all, maybe.
I think, he either...
I watched a walkthrough.
He forgot to do it, and then he was like, shit. Or he, like you, started playing it, the clock went by, he's like, oh god, I've been addicted to this fucking addictive game that you just repeat the same game over and over again. Yeah. And he's just like, shit, what do I do?
Yeah, no, that's what strikes me as so odd, is you should just be able to talk about it. It was all for just a video game review that's not even 4 minutes long, whose only prerequisites were that the guy actually play the fucking game and form an opinion about it. There's so many good things to say about it. The negative thing is it's pretty hard.
Oh yeah.
But that's kind of the fun.
I thought you were a real gamer though, Philip.
Philip didn't get out of the tutorial. The fuck? You gotta spend money on upgrades? Oh.
Now we would be pretty shocked if this didn't result in Philip Mewson losing his job.
Update, it totally did.
In previous examples over the years of journalists plagiarizing or just straight up lying, the end result is that their nonfiction writing careers are pretty much over because no one's gonna trust a word that they say anymore.
Yeah.
Ironically, most of them also end up trying their hand at fiction and also fail at that. What makes Philip Mewson's plagiarism so dumb, though, is that most other famous plagiarist hacks were known for deep dive long form journalism where the pressure to meet deadlines and word counts and present a coherent and compelling thesis at least explain their motivation for being a bunch of cheaters. Yeah. Philip Mewson's career is going down over a 3.5-minute YouTube review of a fucking Nintendo Switch game, which is incredible.
Fantastic. Next up, he's working on a book. It's called Billy and the Clonosaurus.
What?
It's a Simpsons reference.
Oh, I see.
Apu just fucking dresses down Principal Skinner because he comes up with a new book idea. And he's just like, it's a great clip. He just bashes Seymour Skinner for minutes about him just completely plagiarizing Jurassic Park. He's like, it was turned into the biggest movie of all time at this time, and it's great. You'll see it. Anyways, speaking of ethics in journalism, there's one man out there who would never plagiarize another YouTuber. And that man is Phil Arrigo. Ironically enough, I'm going to be looking into this, make sure he didn't plagiarize this, because it would be
We're going to need to conduct our own internal investigation.
Yeah. We're very happy to welcome back Phil Arrigo to the show after several weeks of not returning our phone calls. He's very busy. Phil, tell us about the bad thing that the bad company did. Where did it touch you?
Hey, remember when you played Monopoly as a kid and you'd get the bank error in your favor card, misleading you, a child, to think that banks made mistakes and you would somehow get $200? Man, those were the days. Well, Wells Fargo, the third largest bank in the United States, is doing bank errors, but Wells Fargo style, which means that 625 customers were incorrectly denied or not offered mortgage modifications, and 400 of those people lost their homes. That's foreclosure. Remember when Monopoly guy was all like, I can't believe it, over $200? Yeah, these people probably reacted a wee bit differently. CNN Money reports that Wells Fargo said the computer error affected certain accounts that were undergoing the foreclosure process between April 2010 and October 2015 when the issue was corrected. Hey, Wells Fargo, hit me with a weak-ass apology where you barely make up for the damage you caused. Wells Fargo said in a statement that it was very sorry that this error occurred and it was providing remediation to affected customers. Bammo! What's remediation? Well, in this case, it's $8 million. Seems like a lot of money, but here's the bummer. That gets shared across at least the 400 people who got foreclosed on. Break it up evenly, and that's a measly 20 grand to go along with that half-assed apology. Not really sure where you can buy a house for 20 grand, but it's probably on a goddamn Monopoly board. Fucked up part number one about this thing is that when your house gets foreclosed on, you're out. It's not your house anymore. And any down payment plus what you already paid on it, zip, that's gone. So basically you rented a house that you thought was yours. That's kind of messed up. And I bet you a lot of these people had families. It's gotta be real tough if you got kids and you're trying to explain that to your kid while you're moving in with your parents or living in a motel or trying to find a new house with, I don't know, this $0 that Wells Fargo left you with because of a computer error. Fucked up part number two about this is that in early 2018, Wells Fargo paid a $2.1 billion fine for pulling shady moves that contributed to the 2008 financial crisis. Then they got busted for creating millions of fake accounts to inflate their sales numbers, and in a separate instance, charged customers extension fees that bank employees were artificially creating by intentionally waiting and just sitting around to process orders. Wow, you got Wells Fargo'd. So that $2.1 billion fine may sound like a lot of money, but in 2017, Wells Fargo was worth $1.9 trillion. That sucks. So it's not really a new idea that bankers aren't necessarily the most morally responsible people, but when you see the ripples from the 2008 housing crisis a decade later, you realize how incredibly horrible people can act when greed is a motivating factor. I sadly don't have a good ending to this story. Maybe you should go watch Succession on HBO. It's a good show full of bad people and bad things are happening to them because they're all so terrible. I still have to watch the finale tonight. And Better Call Saul's back, which I saved for tonight to help purge this story out of my mind. Or if you guys are kind of more on like a news tip, you could watch InfoWar. You can't now because it's gone, just like me. Bye.
Wow, when you can't even trust the big banks anymore, who can you trust?
And they had such a good week too, or like the 2 weeks ago when they outed that Russian spy based on some transactions that kind of pinged their radar.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, cool, thanks.
They probably gave themselves a big pat on the back, like, Wells Fargo, you're back on America's side.
We're gonna congratulate our employees by giving them homes. Yes, we'll need to take these homes from someone else, but we'll figure it out.
Oh, you can't trust the banks, who can you trust? Not Facebook, certainly. And, well, here's an idea. How about Facebook and the banks teaming up in some sort of unholy Legion of Doom scenario? Yeah, not about to trust that shit one bit, but that's happening. And it's gonna be a no from me, dog. Basically, according to a report from the Wall Street Journal on Monday, Facebook has recently been reaching out to all the major US banks like Wells Fargo, JP Morgan Chase, and Citigroup to pitch a new partnership that would add banking functionality directly into Facebook Messenger.
Hello, Lehman Brothers? Are you guys still around? Hey, we need anybody we can get.
Now, Facebook, they would be happy to provide these banks with this free product for them to use, as long as they, of course, get a little something out of it themselves. Specifically, the banking data of the people who use it.
No, I completely see this as like a Lehman Brothers thing. We're like, no, we're gonna give every person on Facebook a line of credit. What could go wrong?
We're bringing subprime back, baby.
Yeah, but it's already back. It has like a different, I forget what the new name is for it, but it's basically back. Anyways, how could this go wrong? Much like Robinhood, destroying the lives of millennial investors.
Yeah,
everywhere.
now they got after-hours trading, baby. I can play earnings way more
effectively. The whole thing feels like a ploy by like old bankers and old Wall Street
These
guys.
fucking millennials.
We're gonna take all their money.
They don't know jack shit about the markets.
Yeah, long on Snapchat.
Yeah, they thought they figured it all out with cryptocurrency. Bunch of schmucks.
Anyways, if you're excited about Facebook banking, listen to this. Now, this probably doesn't mean giving Facebook direct access to your bank account and personal information. They wouldn't need it, it's on the dark web anyway. But it would let Facebook see where, when, and how you're choosing to spend your money so that they can more accurately and more creepily offer you services. Or they know what you're buying you're gonna want more of it. Advertising, very easy.
A Facebook spokesperson said
Yeah.
that does not mean targeted ads.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, the idea of Facebook knowing how you spend your money, it's not really the kind of data anyone really would trust them with right now, given their recent history when it comes to protecting user data.
Wow, 18-year-old Sally sure is buying a lot of pill emoji. Stop putting exactly what you're buying on Venmo because you can get in trouble for it.
Yeah.
From the sound of it, this mostly just sounds like Facebook wants to compete more directly with shit like Venmo and the Cash App, but I can't see why any sane person would want to switch from either of those to a company whose reputation with data protection is only a few notches above Yahoo. Wait for Venmo to make a mistake first, a big one. So.
Yeah. Now, similarly, the idea of a dating app built right into Facebook should be a big yikes for most people as well. Facebook's been talking about basically building their own version of OkCupid right into Facebook's already bloated functionality for a while, and they're apparently pretty close to actually releasing it, having tested it internally for the past few months. Fun fact, they made their employees test it, and they're like, but no actual dating, guys.
So is the pitch know every minute detail about your blind date?
No.
It's the opposite of a blind date.
No. At the very least, Facebook, they do seem to understand a lot of people are going to be absolutely not interested in this for very valid reasons. So they've made it like opt-in. None of the shit you post on your dating profile ends up on your normie profile and vice versa. And it also lets you choose whether or not your friends and friends of friends can see you on there.
Loser!
Because you're going to be ashamed of it.
Loser!
Did I see you on Facebook dating? Yeah, well, how'd you see me there? You must have been there too. Let's never talk about
The
this again.
Spider-Man meme.
Yeah, so I mean, whatever, fine. Once again, though, they're asking people to hand over possibly intimate information to a company known for mishandling personal info. They're also asking people who've been using sites like OkCupid, Bumble, whatever, sites kind of known for protecting user privacy. Switch from that over to Facebook. We got you, fam.
Yeah.
But hey, maybe all the danger of having your shit leaked, that could be a turn on.
Yeah.
If you get off on the danger of dating,
Yeah.
that's the one.
Identity theft is the only way I can get off anymore. Anyways, for our final story this week, the latest version of Android P, is out. They should have skipped this one. It's like how you skip the 13th floor on a hotel. Android P is out, and with its release comes the big reveal for what P stands for. Why are we like this? Android has historically named their operating systems after food, particularly sweets. So what's it gonna be? Peppermint? Pumpkin? Pamplemousse? Peach? Pancake? Pop-Tart? Nope. It's pie. Android Pie. Great job, goal.
At least it's not Android piss.
Android P is stored in the balls. Anyways, it's rolling out now for Pixel phones, and all you non-Pixel users, you're just gonna have to wait and do what you always do. Just wait for your phone's manufacturer to fill it with bloatware and release it themselves.
Thanks, Samsung.
For some of you, that means, well, don't knock them, Elliot. They're getting exclusive access to Fortnite Mobile before any other Android phone brand. It's like 150 days or something.
Wow, I'm gonna be really missing out on that.
So you can catch that dub on the go. Anyways, yeah, wait till the end of the year. It's gonna be filled with bloatware or whatever. The bright side, the OS updates nowadays are so incremental that you're probably not missing out on much. A little bit of battery efficiency improvement, some new gestures, a slightly sleeker UI. Very exciting stuff.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that much. We've hit the precipice of phone.
And when they say better battery efficiency, they mean better battery efficiency for all of the new phones coming out right now.
Yeah, or
not for anything older than like 6 months.
Or you're going to see a slight reduction in how much your battery is completely destroyed by apps that have been updated in the past 2 years since you've owned your phone, but probably not even that much. The only thing I'm looking forward to, when the new Pixel 3 comes out, I can finally buy the Pixel 2. I have loved it's a great system, being one generation behind.
Yeah.
They had the original Pixel XL on sale for like $350. I almost bought one just as a backup.
Yeah, it's a good phone.
Yeah, it's a great phone. Mine's finally having some battery degradation.
Mine did die on me.
Yeah.
It had a little boot loop issue, but these things happen.
Yeah.
It almost lasted 2 whole years. I got a new one. Works great.
Pretty good. Well, I'm excited to try out the Pixel 2 in 6 months.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's
No
it.
headphone jack though.
Oh, fuck, you're right. Well, I got the Bluetooth.
Get the
now
dongle.
Anyway. Anyways, thanks for watching Tech News Day. If you want to watch or if you want to listen to this on the audio podcast version, just search Internet Today on your favorite podcast app. We also have Weekly Weird up there as well. Check out yesterday's episode where Alex Jones got banned from the internet, and it's that's a problem for some people apparently. And he wasn't really banned from the internet. He's still free to say whatever he wants on his own platform or anywhere else in public on a megaphone. It's fine. But check that out, and we'll see you guys next time.
I'm gonna go take an ice bath because I'm fucking dying here.
It's very hot.
Bye.